Hey everybody, it's Edwardo here with your Saturday update of the DraftStream game. And look what we have here, shaking off the doldrums from a week off 2 weeks ago. Jaybird, man, he's just good at this. Every time! So he's taken, I wouldn't say it's an insurmountable, but a pretty commanding lead on the Saturday update, up almost 20 points on ring balls. Ring balls! In second, me trying to fight for that second spot. It's going to be a battle. And me kind of competing with myself here for third. But it's not looking good. Well, you know, it's looking good for Jaybird. I mean, the man's good at this. Cruising for his 8th consecutive cash. Meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, ring balls, the king of the low. What would you do if you were guaranteed $10 every week for the rest of your life? How would you act? You'd probably act something like this. He's pretty much locked up the low ball spot right here. Let's get into it. Let's see what they're doing. First off, Jaybird. And Adventure Time, Distant Lands, really started to come through for him. I think it registered... What did it do? It registered an RT score, Rotten Tomatoes critic score. That's definitely helped its cause. A strong 90. Could use a Google user score. Not sure if that's going to happen. But, yeah. That really did extend his lead comfortably with that headliner stack. And then right here, I think that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that a max stack? That might be a max stack of Athlete A. No, almost. Just one day player short. And speaking of the perfect call sheet so far through Saturday, has gone back to the old tried and true formula, only one day player. I really thought this might have been the week where 2 day players from a title would have made it, or a secondary day player would have made it, but alas, form has taken over. This time looks like with a 6-3-1 construction, headliner, co-star, 2 day player. So Jaybird in the captaincy, and then also Living to Love also picked up some points on Saturday to extend that lead. And Ring Ball's top call sheet right now. It's got some exposure to a regular woman. A 6-pack of Athlete A. Headliner stack of Amar Evavir, and a headliner from Madagascar, which actually is what sunk my shot at the low ball this week because we didn't have any information on it. Some of these titles on Prime, just because Amazon Prime, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but Amazon Prime has something in the neighborhood of 100,000 titles. So it's easy for stuff to get lost on there, even if it's new. And I don't believe they've optimized nearly as much as Netflix has their data for recommending stuff that you like. Like, Amazon in other ways does a hell of a lot for recommending like products or to sell you stuff. When it comes to the Amazon Prime Video, they definitely lag behind the Netflix algo in figuring out what you like. So it's easy for something to get lost on that platform, but here it comes, Madagascar. 78.50, respectable. And actually, look at the scores this week. There's not a single 60 point range score on there. Closest you get is Midway to Love, which might be pretty much frozen in amber with this 5.25-ish range for an IMDb score. let's see. And then so in Ring Ball's call sheet, yeah. So we went over his call sheet. Let's go over my call sheet real quick. I need a lot of help. Madagascar is probably the only differentiator that's going to get me some help in this area, and I need a lot of it. Madagascar needs more scores. Oh, look, someone's popping in to check out their scores while we record. Hello. Yeah, this 87.7. These scores are really high this week, above the average. So, and this is really interesting because I really did not have high hopes for this weekend. I mean, Irresistible and Eurovision were probably the two highest profile titles in the talent pool this week. And let's give it up for Eurovision for a second. I watched this last night at the behest, the recommendation of Ring Balls, and Ring Balls, you are absolutely right. I gave it an 8. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Fun as all get out. I mean, it's very stupid comedy, somewhat along the lines of Wedding Crashers. It's actually the director of Wedding Crashers did this one, and it's just fun, and I lay it all on the feet of Rachel McAdams. Old girl comes to play. Like I love Rachel McAdams because not only is she a talented actor, but she always comes to play in whatever it is, whether it's in Game Night or The Notebook or something like this. Like whatever she's doing, she never feels like she's above the material. If it's a comedy, she's gonna have fun with you. She was in Wedding Crashers, so she's familiar with working with David Dobkin. And it's a really fun, stupid fun movie. I enjoyed the hell out of it. Really good singing too. A lot of mockingly silly songs, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. So Eurovision, check that out if you get a chance. I was only going to give it half an hour for those of you who watch the podcast or listen to the podcast I had with Ring Balls this week. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. This is fun. So many gifs. Double coffees for me? Yes. Double coffees, both for me. And terrible accents. I love a good accent. These are all terrible accents. Go watch it. Okay, so anyways, looks like the critics hated it or thought it pretty mediocre, but audiences love it. I actually expect to see more movement on Eurovision. This probably could even creep up into the 7s by the time final scoring's done and word gets out. It was actually trending late last night Pacific time. I think it got as high as 7 or 6 on Twitter. So people are talking about it. People are enjoying it. Check it out. Let's see. Let's take a look at the Ring Balls low. Well, first let's take a look at the perfect low ball call sheet. And like I said, it's a very high scoring week. So low value is kind of hard to find outside of Midway to Love. It's a Hallmark movie, so it's probably only going to get an IMDb rating, IMDb user score rating, and after that, it will be largely ignored. Summerdoll Murders. Acorn, what's going on? Acorn usually is higher quality than this, and the problem with that score is no one's really reporting on it. No user scores from Google. It's just the one IMDb, which a bit unusual. I do believe Acorn has performed pretty well in the past. And just a reminder, if you ever want to take a look at the master score list, it's here. Check it out. You can sort by things like platform. And Acorn. Oh, well, you know what? Small sample size with Acorn TV. Here it is. I feel like didn't we have another one? I thought, Acorn TV and then just Acorn? I thought we had Sea Change. Where's Sea Change? There's Sea Change and Dead Still. Okay, that's all we had for Acorn. All right, so I guess small sample size, nothing to really rely upon. I just thought Acorn would do a little better. Acorn releases are usually on Mondays, which usually it's streaming, so it's technically late Sunday night. In the US, so there still could be some movement. Let's not count that out, but for a low ball call sheet, this seems pretty reasonable. Irresistible, which I guess it's doing okay with viewers. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, critics hate it. Viewers like it. I guess I'm watching this tonight. This also might be a half-hour type deal, but you know, video on demand, so it's a pricey half hour for some. But I'm gonna hoof it out. I mean, everyone involved is pretty talented. You know, Steve. You know, the trailers look terrible, so I'm not optimistic. But you know what? I said the same thing going into Eurovision. The song. Let me get this right. Eurovision Song Contest: The Story of Fire Saga. There we go. Story of Fire Saga. It's my bad attempted Icelandic accent. But you know what? I fit in right in with the rest of those guys. Their accents are all terrible, but it's just a fun time. All right. So Ring Balls only 13 points off the low ball perfect call sheet, and yeah, he's got a heaping helping of Midway to Love. One My Spy, which is probably performing a little better than he'd want. And then a 3-stack of Irresistible, which makes sense, and also gets him over the budget minimum of $75,000. So yeah, so that's a runaway. Enjoy your $10, Ring Balls. I think I've got your email. I think I've got your PayPal account on speed dial. Not too unlike Jaybird. Man, this dominance. This truly proves that this, just like most daily fantasy sports, if you apply yourself, can be, you know, is a game of skill. I mean, yes, you know, there is some luck involved as far as what people will go for or whatever, but I can't wait to have Jaybird on the podcast one of these days to just give us a little, just a little bit of insight into his process, because he's running away with this. This week, with my call sheets, I actually waited until 5:30 p.m. to get the absolute most amount of data I could before I worked on my call sheet, and I'm still 20 points off the pace. Jaybird's just a legend. He's a legend in these streets. Let's look at last week's champion, Gamble24x7. And shout out to Gamble24x7. He showed me where I was missing the score for the audition, the Google user score. So he helped complete this row for us. Good looking out, sir. And I believe his misstep this week was, yeah, he banked in heavily on the audition. A nice little optimal stack here. 2 headliners, a co-star, day player. Not an optimal mini stack of the audition. Not performing as well as he thought it might. Although that's pretty good. That's really good value actually. 7,800 to get you almost 90 points. That's good value. And so it freed him up to spend a little more on a regular woman. Which, now I think about it, at least one headliner would have done you right. Not enough Athlete A. And the funny thing is that because it came out on Wednesday, I'm always leery about putting out Wednesday titles, only because there's the fear of having near perfect information to start. You know, it's still probably it was heavily rostered this week, the actors from Athlete A, but still, as you can see, some people could have some blind spots to not over rostering it, and I mean, just tremendous value. I mean, probably some of the best value in DraftStream history, to be honest with you. 8,700 getting you at least 117.70 points, or in this case for headliner, 164. That's crazy value right there. So let's see what else we can see. You know, let's take a look at Brown Baby, the Draft Mom, and actually, where is she right now? Still in the bottom half. I see you working there, Mom. Just actually 20, just under 30 points behind Gamble24x7, so there's no shame in that. And let's see what's going on with this. So, right here, this 4-pack of Ella. I mean, it's not bad, but for 10,000 salary spend on your day player, you'd probably want a little bit more out of Ella. And actually, honestly, you don't really need it too, especially if I like the day player from Athlete A, I mean, this 4-pack is this optimal mini stack is pretty strong. Right here, Mom. This optimal stack right here is strong. You just don't need a second day player, especially from something like Ella. I probably would have gone with another co-star from Athlete A right there, and that would have been almost a 30-point difference. Actually, if you had another co-star, it would have been, wow, a 60-point difference right there. And another 60 points gets you in the ball game, Mom. That gets you, what, 13, 20 something? 13, yeah, about 13, 20, which would put you in the top 10. Solid, yeah, in the top, yeah, it gets you about 8th. Let's take a look at the God of Cheese's top call sheet. See what's going on right here. I like that. So an optimal stack of Athlete A, headliner stack of a regular woman. I like it so far. Madagascar starting to perform for you. My Spy, probably the one that's holding you back a little bit. I mean, 6,000 for almost 80 points is decent value for Madagascar. And we might actually see a little more movement on this as audiences may discover it over the weekend. But My Spy, not much room to run, really. Its scores are pretty baked in. A lot of the sample sizes that are out there are pretty big. So I don't expect a lot of movement in these scores from My Spy. We did get some today. This went from, I think, a 49 to a 51. This went from 47 to 46. But you already have something like 9,000 IMDb user ratings, so that's not moving. And it's going to be up to the Google users if you want any more performance out of that. All right, so I think that about does it. I mean, we could look at Jaybird's low ball call sheet, but he doesn't have a shot. You know, let's pick on Jaybird for a second. Why not? Okay, yeah, Eurovision knocked him out right here. And honestly, this actually is, process-wise, this play is fine. I think I had something similar. The trailer looked terrible, so I really thought that this might be an expensive flop. This actually has exceeded value, quite honestly. Or, I mean, 90 points for 10,000. That's slightly above value, I would imagine. And then Irresistible, that looks good. I think I have something similar. Madagascar, we just had the default score, so he's going in blind, so I don't blame him for that. And Midway to Love, yeah. So the process was fine. I probably would have had a little more Midway to Love. My low ball call sheet, now that I think about it. Oh, I didn't have nearly enough Midway to Love. Okay, that's on me. Yeah, I went heavy on Fire Saga, and it cost me in the low. I don't have a shot. That shows that movie's just too good. My Spy, yeah, I need more Midway to Love. So, kudos to Ring Balls. Ring Balls, king of the low. Get his $10 this week. With all that Midway to Love and Irresistible. Well played, sir. All right, so that's going to do it this week for the Saturday update. I'll see you all again on Monday, a few hours after 12 p.m. Pacific time, with final scores and updates and a preview of next week's talent pool. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you on Monday.